Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Adobe Ring Ranch. I just got finished checking on the little girls, and everybody's doing great. Everyone's fed, everyone's watered, everyone's jumping around and exercising, which is a great sign. It's a little chilly out here today. We've got their little heat lamp going on inside. It seems to be like in the lower 60s today. And as you can see in the background, we've got a lot of overcast. So there is no sunshine today. So I'm doing the best I can to keep my spirits up. And as you can hear in the background, the damn wind is still around. So I'm just going to try to make the best of it today. And maybe do a little cooking and keep the house warm. And hope for the best that the sun will come out and this damn wind will stop. All right, so we will take you for a little trip in the garden, and then we'll get off into the kitchen. Well, after checking on the baby chicks, I was walking through the garden real quick and keep admiring how well my brassicas are doing in this bed here, despite the tarantula shock the other day. But regardless, I've been looking at this Savoy cabbage for the last couple of days, and I've never grown it before, but it's doing really well here right now. It's starting to, the head on this gets a little more upright. It's not so round like a ball, but it's clearly heading up here. So I decided to harvest some of the outside leaves, the outer leaves, and just let the inside keep growing. It'll just help give the other cabbages a little more room to grow. So like this one, I removed a number of larger size leaves off the bottom here. And then I've got another little grouping on this side. And again, I removed some of the bottom leaves here. I think I got a total of like 24 leaves in total. So that's not so bad for this little grouping. So what am I going to do with those leaves today? I am taking them into the kitchen, and I'm going to try and do an old recipe that I used to do back in the day, which was stuffed cabbage. I'm not sure if there's a lot of fans out there for stuffed cabbage, but definitely one of my favorites, and I can't wait to get going. So let me take you on into the kitchen. Okay, so the ingredients needed for the stuffed cabbage for the day would be some cooked rice. This is a cup of cooked rice, or a cup of rice with 2 cups of water, just cooked up. I've got chicken breast. I'm going to use chicken breast today, and my stuffing. I'm going to need an egg, and the vegetables will be shredded carrots, some shredded onions. I used a mix of red and white today, only because I had half of each in the refrigerator, and I also have about a cup of shredded cabbage. I could have taken out my food processor, but for this amount, it wasn't really needed. So today I did use my box shredder. Just if you're going to use one of these, please be careful with your fingers. We don't need any finger parts or pieces in your stuffing. So as far as the broth is concerned, I'm going to be using a can of chicken broth and a can of tomato sauce. You can use tomato paste if you have tomato paste. Basically, it's going to be a thinned out tomato sauce to go with this recipe. I'm also going to include a 1/4 cup of brown sugar into the sauce, and I'm going to toss in some raisins for some extra flavor. On top of that, the only other thing you will need will be your cabbage leaves. Today I am using Savoy cabbage leaves. Why? Because I grew these in the garden, so it's time to harvest. I pulled some of the outer leaves off because they're getting quite large, and it'll just give the other cabbages some room. So right here, I think I've got about 12 to 15 leaves in here. And what I'm gonna need to do is blanch these in some boiling water for about 2 to 3 minutes, just to soften them up and make them more flexible to wrap. You can use, and I have used regular head cabbages before. The only difference is you got to peel those leaves off, and you're going to have to blanch them a little bit longer because it's a tougher leaf, and it'll just take a little more blanching time to soften up those leaves. Keep in mind that this shredded cabbage here was actually part of a regular cabbage head. I made coleslaw the other day, and I knew I was going to be making the stuffed cabbage, so I kept a quarter of the cabbage head just for this recipe. But if you were to use the Savoy, you can probably just take some of these leaves and thinly chop them up and add it to your stuffing as well. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be sauteing the vegetables, and then I'll take them out of the pan, and then I will be sauteing up the chicken breast. And once they're cooked, I will combine the rice, vegetables, and chicken with the egg to make the stuffing. And then I will be blanching down the cabbage leaves, and we'll get this process moving. Okay, so the vegetables have been sauteed. The ground chicken has been sauteed as well. Everything has been combined together with the rice. I did season a little bit with salt and pepper to my taste. So basically what I will do right now is set this aside so that it can cool down a little bit. And then I will be adding the egg to the stuffing and mixing the egg in here just so that it holds together better when I put it into the cabbage leaves. So currently what I will be doing is getting a pot of boiling water going, and then I'll be dropping in the cabbage leaves into the water for about 2 to 3 minutes. That will just soften up the greens and soften up this stem part here a little bit. To make it easier to fold the leaves up. So in the meantime, while I'm waiting for the water to boil, I shall be washing up a couple of dishes. Okay, so all the cabbages have been blanched. I don't know if you noticed in the video that when I did stick the leaves in the pot, I kind of put the stem or the harder piece in the water first. That just gave it like a minute head start before the leafy green part hit the water. This will cook quicker than this. So I wanted to get this started and get it somewhat limp. Just a note, if you've got a few ripped leaves, don't worry about it. When you wrap it up, it'll be fine. And once you cover it with the sauce, nobody's gonna notice. Now, if you find that your stem is still not bendable enough, I'm just going to take like a pair of scissors and I'm just going to snip that section off and either eat it or get rid of it. That way the rolling process will be a lot easier. Now, to me, this is probably the hardest part, is rolling up these little cabbage leaves, but we'll do what we can do. All right, so I have my baking dish over here, and I did do my sauce mixture where it was a can of tomato sauce with a can of chicken broth, and I put the 1/4 cup of brown sugar and the raisins in there, and I mixed it all up, and I put that aside just so that the brown sugar could dissolve. So I poured that at the bottom of the baking dish to keep the cabbage rolls from sticking. And I have my stuffing all cooled, and I did incorporate the beaten egg in here. So this is all set to go. So basically all you need to do is take about a tablespoon of your mixture. If your cabbage leaf is a little bit smaller, then use a little bit less, but maybe about 1/4 of the way up on the leaf, I will put my teaspoon of filling on the leaf, and I will be rolling the stem end up and over first, and then I will be taking the sides, rolling that in, taking that in, and then continue rolling to the top of the leaf. So the stem goes up, the sides come in, side comes in, and then you continue rolling up and over, and if all goes well, you've got yourself a little packet like this, and then you just put that into the baking dish. It's okay if some of your filling falls out, don't worry about it. The more you do this, the easier it gets. And some of that filling fell out because that leaf was ripped. So here's the, hopefully the last of the ripped leaves. I didn't want to waste them in the garden, so I'm gonna snip off that tougher end again of the cabbage leaf. I'm going to add some of that stuffing about 1/4 of the way up. Okay, take the stem end, roll it over the stuffing. Then I'm going to take the sides, roll that over, and then roll the entire packet up and over, like so. And then that goes in the baking dish. So I'm going to continue doing this. I'm hoping to go 3 across this way and then 5 total the other way for a total of 15. So I'm just going to keep rolling and wrapping here until all the leaves are complete. And let's put another scoop here. And just remember, if your leaves are a little bit smaller, then just use a little less filling. You'll get the knack of it after the first 2 or 3. So the end goes up, the sides come in, and then you roll up and roll up. And you've got your little packet of stuffing. And put that in the baking dish. Okay, so I'm going to keep going until the baking dish is full. Okay, it's a wrap. The cabbage rolls are done. I actually had more room in the baking dish, so I ran out and I grabbed another 9 cabbage leaves out of the garden, wrapped them all up. Everybody's tucked in, and as you can see, my first roll wasn't as nice as the rest, so we have a lot of stuffing kind of squeaking out the edge there, but all the other ones, with practice, they just get better and better. So the baking dish is full. All I'm gonna do now is pour over the remaining sauce over the top, cover this with aluminum foil, pop it in a 350-degree oven for about 40 minutes so everything cooks down, and that will be all set for tonight's dinner. Another side note, if you've got extra stuffing, like I do, you've got 2 options. I just split the stuffing in 2. We're gonna have this for lunch later, with the exception of the raw egg I tossed in. Pop it in the microwave, cook it for a few minutes, top it with cheese. This will make a great lunch. Another option for the rest of the stuffing would be to roll them up, pop them in the freezer, do a quick freeze, and then pop them in a Ziploc freezer bag, and you've got yourself some meatballs for the next time you make up sauce. So that's gonna be it for the stuffed cabbage for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It is a cheap meal. I wouldn't say easy, but if you've got the time, it's definitely inexpensive, and if you omit the meat, it's even cheaper. Anyway, that's it for today. Hope everyone has a great day.